Speaking of which, we've got zombie flesh eaters.
Yes, that leads us to zombie flesh eaters.
It sort of says it's a sequel of Dawn of the Dead. However, that's not actually the case.
That was the Zombie 1 was the Italian release of Dawn of the Dead, I believe.
Yeah, this one too.
This is one I hadn't actually seen either, which is rare. Like usually I've seen the ones that we watch, but I haven't seen this one, and I actually really enjoyed it. But yes, it's known as
popped on the success of the American film of Dawn of the Dead. And that's why often when you're searching, well, you know, if you were wanting to find zombie flesh eaters, it will just automatically come up as Zombie 2.
Zombie 2, yeah. I have to do a bit of Googling to figure out what was going on there, because as I say, this isn't a film that I was familiar with to begin with. Apparently it was considered something of like a video nasty on its UK release, but it does have a better reputation these days. Even I saw a review from a couple of years ago in The Guardian, and they even said, apart from a couple of notable scenes, it's not quite nasty enough, essentially. It's like times really have changed. But I thought it was a bit more gory than like the average, like say Hellraiser or whatever, but not significantly more. Like I don't think it deserved the reputation it initially got. But no, I really did enjoy it.
I like the blood in both of these movies. It was a lot of red paint.
I like it as well when the zombies bite people. Like I put it in me things like the zombies look really cool until like you want to bite someone or that, because it's like, say if you're biting the throat, it just looks like a big load of latex just being peeled off. but the actual
goes through me. I still don't enjoy it.
No, but the actual zombies in and of themselves, like when they stay whole, and like
the zombies in so
I really enjoyed it.
It begins on a boat in New York area.
An abandoned boat.
Abandoned boat, it seems. So it seems.
Yeah.
The Coast Guard enter the boat and get attacked by big headed.
Gets eaten by a zombie 5 minutes in. All of the spurts there. I love how they get the blood to spurt around as well. Like they got like little pumps in the clothes or something. It really does entertain me like no end. I love it.
So yeah, he gets attacked by the zombie and then he shoots the zombie off the boat, but he doesn't actually get him in the head, so it doesn't come up in the movie again. But you know,
we'll leave that there. And the next scene as well is
crawls on land.
Next scene is an autopsy table, isn't it? Or a couple of scenes later, and you just see a little movement underneath it. And then we forget about that boat, and that boat is never mentioned again.
As the rude-minded person who was watching that movie did triple about, seeing some movement underneath the white blanket. Hand, get your head out of the gutter.
I'm pretty sure that's not how zombies reproduce.
The next scene is a woman sort of creeping around with the boat of the father.
Yeah.
So this boat that's turned up on shore with the zombies, or zombie one.
Singular for now.
Yeah, is her father's boat, and she's sort of snooping around.
And then she gets surprised by a reporter.
Yeah. So the police really aren't keeping a very good eye on this boat.
Not really, no. They almost get caught. But they pretend to be getting caught doing the bonking. Don't bonk. You bonk, you die. I mean,
they don't, luckily.
No, but they were pretending to. What he said was funny as well. He's like, the boat was their idea. I had to settle for an empty car. She's like, she's genuinely scandalised that he's sullying her name like this.
That was Anne and Peter. So Peter's like Anne is the young lady whose father's missing.
Yeah.
Which you will find out in the next scene, because she stays with the reporter, and he's on the phone. So this scene is a bit strange, really. And there's a little voiceover, and it sounds like basically her father leaving her a voicemail.
Yeah, I thought it was him reading out the documents that he had.
Yes, me too. I had to rewind it like 3 times. It
was a bit odd.
A bit oddly filmed / voiceover. It was a bit of the wrong time to maybe do that voiceover. She sort of
the sound was a little bit confusing in that scene. But it turns out her father's on an island in the Caribbean, and as he's there as a result of his research into this mystery illness that's been striking down everybody on this island called Matul. So what they think that they should do to figure out what's gone on and why the boat was abandoned and found bobbing around the New York harbor is they are going to go to Matul, which, if there's a mystery illness there, that's obviously the thing you do, isn't it?
Then we actually cut to the island itself, to Dr. Maynard.
Yeah.
Dr. David Maynard,
and his wife Paula. And they're stuck there. She desperately wants to go home, doesn't she?
Cut off from the rest of the world, and he's saying, "You're crazy." He just keeps calling her crazy.
Yeah.
No, she just doesn't want to get
gaslighting her.
Actually, she seems to be much more sane than you. Total gaslighter, that Dr. Maynard.
Well, he says the radio's broken, but she says straight away, and you probably just want to stay. It's probably not true. Like, she knows exactly what's going down. But he says his research is into superstition and voodoo rites, and she just outright calls them zombies. She's not messing around. There's a scene where he's drawing blood from himself. Anything but needles. They knock me sick. I was watching it like. What?
Love everything horror. Whatever it is. That's just a medical thing. Come on, Annie.
No, can't go. Don't do needles. Don't. Honestly, I actually felt a bit like fuzzy when I was watching. I don't like them at all.
I don't mind them. I quite find it quite interesting when people are draining my blood.
No, I've got plenty of tattoos, but needles are where
not going to be a Dracula's wife sort of situation.
I want to drain your blood.
So the scene after this quite. I think it may have been one of my favourite scenes, possibly.
Titties.
No, so this is Sexy Boat Lady. Nudity for the sake of it. Nudity for no reason whatsoever, completely unnecessary. Could have done this scene exactly without it. Just constant tits everywhere.
But it gets far more interesting than titties. This scene is so trashy but so fun.
Oh my gosh! First of all, underwater zombie.
Underwater zombie.
Then
that's not the end.
So after you find this underwater zombie and she manages to escape from a shark and a zombie, the zombie and the shark start having an altercation with each other, which honestly
I don't know what else to call it, but altercation sounds like they're gonna have like a legal battle.
Just put your hands up.
We don't see who wins. So I was actually kind of gutted.
Yeah, in this scene, it was actually a real tiger shark used.
Wow.
Because they didn't have the budget for like fancy anatomics. So
fancy fake shark.
Yeah. So the shark was fed just before the scene, and then doped with sedatives so that he didn't eat the active.
Poor shark. He should be left alone. Was a good scene though.
It was the shark. So zombie versus shark was actually, an actor wrestling with a live real shark
underwater.
Heads.
I hope he got more money.
I hope so too, but I don't think so. I think that was part of the problem. Funny. But yes, that was just great. Great.
And no, top class semi-trashy, semi-brilliant. In my notes, I've got "This is new." That's half the battle, really, isn't it?
I was not expecting that.
Told you I had a lot of fun with this film.
Next comes Sharknado. There should be a zombie Sharknado after that.
We are not reviewing Sharknado.
No, but we should make a horror movie that is about zombies.
I would watch that. I would watch the hell out of that. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, more gratuitous titties.
Yes.
Plenty of gratuitous titties.
New mirror show again. For some reason, just the women can't seem to be in a horror movie without making some sort of orgasmic noise.
But then they get killed. It's like it's like you can't be right.
Yeah. So this one is Dr. Maynard's wife. She's at their apartment, I guess, in the beautiful jungle island.
They do to signify danger.
But yeah, get your tits out, you're gonna get attacked.
Yeah, that's like I don't even get in the shower these days. I haven't taken this top off in 3 years. Yeah, but
this scene ends at a zombie or
fingers in door,
flesh eater
door,
and again gets the fingers trapped in the door and horrifying.
Yeah, as I say, I think it's almost kind of like ASMR for horror fans. You just love the squish.
So you don't like needles, but you're fine with squishy skin tearing. Strange person.
Yeah, because no one really wants to zombify me and then squish my fingers off.
No,
people do want to stick needles in me sometimes, so which is no.
This scene does end with one of my pet hates, which is
eyes
gouging.
I don't think that's a pet hate. I think that's perfectly justified.
I suppose saying pet hate could be downplaying it a tad, but it makes me feel physically sick.
Yeah, I thought that this scene was really well done. Like the zombie's trying to get through the door, and that's how he gets his fingers squished, and then he manages to get through anyway, because of course doors don't keep out zombies. And you see this big plank of wood just slow-mo just getting closer and closer to her eye, and it doesn't cut away. It's
straight in.
Yeah, it's pretty ruthless in the lack of cuts. I think a lot of things that I had a little Google on the internet about paralleled it a lot with the film Unschent Andalou by Dali. There's an eyeball slicing scene in that too, like a straight razor type thing. I think that they're absolutely worlds apart though. Like the context is completely different. They've only paired them both because they involve eyeballs. That's literally it. I think the intent might be similar though, like the shock value and the fact that we're going to unflinchingly show you this thing because it belongs in this piece. But yeah, I think a lot of people make this film a little more arty than it's intended to be. I mean, we did just have Shark versus Zombie, but yeah, it
doesn't really base itself in reality.
Yeah, it's a gross scene though. So we cut back to Dr. Maynard then.
Yeah.
And he's in hospital. He's in hospital shooting people. Not just like everywhere, like just a specific person, so that they can't zombify once they die. This person isn't the first in his pile of bodies. He's got lots of kind of almost mummified looking corpses. They're
wrapped in white sheets, all the bodies.
Yeah, and like rope and stuff like that. And you see quite a lot of these. The man says, can he shovel the soil over them yet? And the woman who's with Dr. Maynard says, no, there's 2 more that are going to die soon. So it's like there'll be more going in there. Like this is a big problem for them, obviously.
But there isn't actually that many in there, considering there seems to have been a pandemic happening for a while.
Maybe they buried them in other places though.
Maybe. They say that the locals have gone inland, the tribes people have gone inland to avoid the disease. Not really what that says about that they won't leave, or he won't leave. something about ego, wanting to save the world or something.
Mm.
There's a lot of the music on the island is very sort of tribal.
Yeah, very like indigenous.
And unlike the zombies in Dawn of the Dead, zombies like which are quite, you know, archetypal zombies that arms up staring at them. These zombies are more modelled to resemble the sort of voodoo legends.
Yeah, definitely. I got onto that
from Haitian and Caribbean legends, which are like head down sort of.
Yeah, like they're not animating themselves in any way. Yeah.
So we find out. So the boat finally gets to the island, and
they find Dr. Maynard, or rather, he finds them.
Anne and Peter, the one whose father's missing, and the newspaper reporter getting off the boat just as everyone else is leaving. So you would think at that point they'd probably be like, seems like it might be a bad idea.
It would.
And the doctor explains the horrors.
Yeah. Tells the tale of his colleague dying from the mystery illness.
It was her father, wasn't it? That was dying, so he had to explain to her that her father died.
Yeah, it's and how he shot him when he reanimated, and that's the scene from the beginning where you see someone like shooting one of the corpses that are wrapped up, and then he says, "Oh, the boat can leave now. Tell the crew." And that's the flashback. That's the very first scene in the film. So this is where it comes from. He has some discussion there, which I thought was interesting, about where he thinks it's coming from. Whether it's voodoo or religious or natural, and the doctor actually thinks there's a rational explanation for this still. Like, he thinks that this could be a part of science and nature and stuff like that. He's not dead set on the fact it's voodoo or anything like that at all, which I thought, like, he's still trying to be rational.
Yeah.
At that point, I'm not sure I'd be.
Yeah, I think I wouldn't be sticking around too long to find out.
No.
Where it's come from, as long as it doesn't get me.
As long as it doesn't come back with me. Yeah, the doctor sends the group to his house to look for his wife at this point, and they do find her eyeballless and being eaten by zombies.
Sexy.
Yeah, in a particularly slappy scene where they get some sort of organ and it's like sloppy. It's like, at that point I was like, ugh. But yeah, they get back in the car surprisingly easily, considering that the house has zombies in it. But okay. They veer off the road when they're driving back to the hospital to tell Dr. Maynard, and they hear drums and they think, oh, there's voodoo. So they still don't just leave. They decide to have a little sit for reasons.
They're driving away, but they hit a zombie, but they just they don't like keep driving. They just go a bit mental, and
they decide to just chill there.
They know how they do.
Yeah, decide to just hang out in the trees in the Caribbean for a little bit, which, you know, whatever.
Not a good idea. And then they lie down on the ground.
Yeah. Brian, which is one of the boat people, finds this old conquistador helmet. They're in a really old graveyard from when the Spanish invaded, whatever word you want to use, the Caribbean. At that point, I might be like, oh, crud. Still no. Anne and Peter are over by the other trees smooching, and remember, you bonk, you die. Because now is the time to just have a little bit of fun. Just you're not on holiday.
3 months time.
Oh, so frustrating. It's like it almost makes me glad they got eaten.
Have a pina colada.
Yeah.
With a nice little cocktail umbrella in it.
Oh yeah.
Umbrella to stab the zombie in the head. Perfect.
Yeah.
What you need.
It beggars belief how stupid some people, well, these aren't real people, but how stupid they're trying to make us think they are, just for progression of plot. But nevertheless, it does progress the plot. One thing that I noticed about the film from here on in, I think that, like, a lot of the shots get a lot better. I don't know if you noticed this as well. Like, not that they were bad to begin with, but a lot of the time I'm just like, oh, that was a nice shot. That's a nice shot. And it starts about halfway through the film where I start thinking that it looks better. But with the zombies' hands coming out of the earth, and where a couple of more of them are coming up out of the ground, like, they're really nice shots and good looking zombies. Like, it's not schlocky special effects looking. It's good.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say the zombies in this certainly look better than the zombies in the Dead. To a certain extent. Even though, the makeup artists that they were too blue. They came out too blue on the screen, and he wasn't happy with it. Yeah,
I think it came out fine. I really
his thought on it, not mine. I liked it too.
Yeah, but after that scene, Susan, who is the boat lady, is bitten and killed. And we don't see any more of her for a while. A load more corpses start to reanimate at this point. You see them everywhere.
Seems like now all the dead now are coming back to life, no matter what, when.
Coming out of the graveyard. Everyone, the hospital, the graveyard, all the dead.
No, it had been going on for a while, so it's just weird that it all decided to happen that night. All the zombies were like, okay.
Yeah, but you gotta have a film.
For a party!
So Anne and Brian are going back to the hospital carrying Peter, who can't walk because, car crash and zombies and stuff. Really not sure going to the hospital is a good idea, but then again, there are zombies everywhere now, so you may as well, I suppose. Dr. Maynard said he's a rationalist, but that this now defies rational explanation. Only now, really?
Yeah, it takes a little while, doesn't it?
I think I had to come to that conclusion a hell of a lot sooner in my life.
Yeah, if he had have come to that conclusion a bit sooner, maybe his wife wouldn't have died. She wasn't as crazy as he was saying that she was.
Yeah, he needed to calm down on the crazy. But in the next scene, he gets bitten. I mean, our Scooby Gang are preparing to fight the zombies off, and they've got bottles of kerosene and everything because, again, of course you have. And
yeah, I mean, I don't know how many times on a night out I've gotten to the club and I'm like, shit, I forgot my bottle of kerosene.
I've tried things worse than kerosene, don't worry. Crazy house, I'm looking at you. Yeah, the dead are also rising inside the hospital.
Sabah's tequila.
I miss being allowed out.
Chili flavour for your friends who you didn't really like.
I'm good with chili flavour. The staff at this point are all being killed, though the dead are rising inside the hospital, outside the hospital, everywhere.
Can't get away. There's absolutely no way to get away from these guys now.
Yeah, they're setting the building on fire, and not the zombies, the humans.
Yeah.
Just to get rid of them, and undead Susan turns up in the bushes and bites Brian. So there's that. So that's another one of ours.
I'm sure he deserved it. I'm sure he deserved it.
Peter shoots her, and there's a lot of shots here with the zombies in flames in the hospital, just kind of stumbling around, which I also thought were really nice shots. Like, I don't know, so I just like the way that they made a lot of this look, but all of it's in the second half. In the first half, it looked, to me, it looks like, I don't know how they're making it look is different in the first half to me. It's so strange.
There's a lot of action towards the end. Again, this is your crescendo.
Yeah. When all of the crap hits the fan. Our gang actually do manage to leave the island, even though Brian's on his lazzies. Pretty much, like, you can still see the island, and Brian's like, it's like, yeah, he's gonna be gone.
The overacting comedy death.
Yeah, it's like he's gonna be gone. He's gonna be gone in seconds. Maybe you shouldn't have taken him. But he is dead almost immediately. So they say they're gonna lock him in the bilge. I don't know what a bilge is, but I assume it's a bit of a boat that you can lock. And they're going to take him back to New York as proof of what happened on the island. But then they put the radio on. I think he says something like, "Oh, we might hear some good news instead." And it's basically like zombies are everywhere. Yeah. Started on the boat that was in New York Harbor in the very beginning that we've forgotten all about. Yeah, that zombie. Yeah.
Again, specifically said that it was him, but that is the explanation you'll see, really, like that he wasn't shot in the head, he was shot in the body.
Yeah.
Floats himself to shore, and thus
And the last shot of this film is a ton of zombies on Brooklyn Bridge. Like, I think there's just some great shots in the second half of this film. It's a great ending, and I love the fact that it's
voiced over by the guy on the radio.
Yeah,
everywhere they're coming.
Yeah,
they're at the door.
Yeah,
and you really feel it. Like that's not just.
Yeah, like I love the fact as well that I love the fact that both this film and Dawn of the Dead don't tie things up in neat little packages. It's like you're going out there into the big world where there's more zombies. You've just escaped that bit. It's like it's still never ending. It's never going to be ending. Like this is it. Like I like.
It's not going to end until there's
the end.
No.
Yeah, I like the fact that they both leave it ambiguous as to what happened. I mean, I thought I was reading a lot of reviews about this film, and a lot of them said that they don't have much narrative and they kind of hang together on specific bits. Like there's not really much overarching narrative. I think that's a bit unfair. Like I really enjoyed watching this film, and I think what do you really want from zombie flesh eaters? What do you want?
You want zombies.
Yeah, I thought that this had at least a normal, acceptable amount of narrative for its genre of film. It was entertaining. A point that it had above Dawn of the Dead for me was that it was a whole hour less, which for this kind of film, that short, sharp thing suits me a lot better.
So it did watch the extended version, which is
the normal one's long too. Don't worry. No, I really enjoyed it. As I say, a lot of reviews kind of.
I guess for me, because the other one, because Dawn of the Dead was quite comedic, that made me, who as more of a novice horror movie, sort of it had more of an enjoyment factor to me. I thought it was quite funny, tongue in cheek, while also having a bit of suspense and drama.
I always think that like these films are unintentionally or just kind of charmingly funny sometimes. So like there were scenes in this one that I thought were goofy and gross, and they have that shock value as well. Like it's not like hardcore straight-faced horror. You know what I mean? It kind of knows that it's a bit goofy sometimes. So that kind of works for me as well. But as I say, it has all the narrative that I want from this kind of film. I don't feel like it needs any more. I really enjoyed it. Especially the second half, where it was more to watch, more things that I enjoyed watching.
Yeah, it was a bit mad at that point.
Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was good. I would think it was definitely worth a watch, and it was one that I hadn't seen and dug out before myself, and I'm glad I did. So,
but it's worth a watch just for the zombie versus shark.
Yeah, and for if you hate eyeballs, then get right in there, because there's a lot of eyeball action that's going to gross you right out. But so thanks for listening to us. I've been Annie.
I've been Rachael. It's been a pleasure as always.
And we'll see you next time on Girlfright.